template, the piece of wood I'll be using is this strip of walnut. It has a lot of sapwood on it, and I think that's going to make it interesting, add a secondary color without having to glue up strips. And this board, it's 24 inches long. We will not use all that. It's 2 inches wide and it's 3/4 inches thick. Now for the template, I'll be using this template. This is a template. It was gifted to me. It was sent to me as a gift from Derek Smiley Woodworks. And he sells these guys on his Etsy shop. I'll put a link to it in the description below. And I really like it because it's made from 3/4 inch, I think it's ash. And it's really solid pattern, so it's working really, really nicely. So I'm gonna use this pattern from him because he gifted to me. And let's start making this knife. So let's see, this pattern, you can use it if you're right-handed like this, or if you're left-handed like this. It's just a matter of how you attach the blade. But because I'm right-handed, I'm gonna make it like this. So I want the darker wood to be in the front as you hold it. So maybe more like this. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm gonna put in where the sapwood splits right there in the middle of the handle. I like to use a Sharpie and trace my pattern. One, because I can really see the Sharpie really well. And then two, because the thickness is just perfect. I can cut right on the line or very, very close to it. And now I still have enough material for my flush trim bit. This is great, great, great project for beginners, as you'll be using some tools and get to learn your tools. So there you go, we traced it. Now looking at the pattern, I could have just put the edge right on this edge and then we didn't need to flush trim that part, but this is what I did. This is what we're going with. I'm gonna go to the chop saw, cut off this end and this end because we don't need those pieces. So we'll just keep this portion, and then you can cut this with a jigsaw, you can cut it with the bend saw, you can cut it with the scroll saw, whatever you have. I'm going to take mine to the scroll saw just because I haven't used it in a while and I feel like I need to keep putting hours on it to practice my cutting on the line. So I cut a piece. As you can see, I try to stay to the outside of my Sharpie mark. And now it's time to double side tape this template on top of my piece of wood, just like that. So I am going to use some double-sided tape. And let's see, I need some scissors. Make sure I put enough of them. I don't want this to be shifting anywhere. All right, and we are sticking in the pattern. Make sure it's really stuck into it. I do not want this to be flying around. And it's good. Now let's go to the router table and use a flush trim bit to cut this to exact size as our pattern. Now I will be using a flush trim bit, and this is a compression bit. I'm gonna put this in the link in the description below. And these guys are really good flush trim bits. They last you a long time. They're very sharp. Prior to that, I was using these guys from Bits and Bits. They're also compression bits, but they are so much more expensive. So these ones are more affordable and just as good. I recently switched my router lift from Rockler to this Incra one, and I think it's a better lift. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a comparison and why I think this is a better lift, why I switched. My router, of course, it's unplugged. And this is where I'm so happy that Derek made this templates 3/4 inch, because my hands will be above the router bit, so they are away from the danger zone. Still have to be very, very careful. You are very close to the bit, so use caution. But having 3/4 inch template really helps in here. If I had like a 1/4 inch plexiglass, like the acrylic, I'm not sure I would have been comfortable to make these cuts. Make sure you enter on the long grain. You do not want to enter the flash trim bit in the end grain, or you'll get kickback. I'm going to plug this in and we'll make the cut. As you can see, we got nice clean cut all around, very smooth, very good result. Now we need to separate our piece from the template. I'll use a putty knife. This is not my favorite putty knife. Where is my favorite putty knife? It's on the other table. I like this one better. It is stiffer. This one flexes a lot and it gives me trouble. So let's see. What can I enter here? There you go. Keep the template for the next one. Remove the sticky tape. All right. And now it's time to go back to the router table. As you can see, we got nice clean cut. Everything looks beautiful, but sharp corners, not very ergonomic, doesn't feel nice in the hand. So we're gonna go to the router table and we put a round over all around on both sides. So all the sharp edges will be gone. So this is what our bread knife looks so far. We gave it a nice round over, and I think it could have even been a bigger round over, a 1/4 inch maybe. It's not so much, but you know what, I will sand it rounder. All right, you guys, well, I sent it all the way to 180 and I stopped there because this bread knife is probably going to get washed just like a cutting board, so we have to raise the grain. Otherwise, when you wash it, it will just become rough to the touch. So I'm going to spray with some water, let it dry, and then we'll do the final sanding to 220. The bread knife, it's all sanded and smooth, and before I put the finish on it, I want to pre-drill for the blades. I buy my blades in packs of 18. They are this brand. I'll also put a link to the blades in the description below. They are very, very affordable and super, super, super sharp. I mean, be very careful, they are really sharp. So because I am right-handed, I'm gonna make this one for right-handed person. So that means you hold it like this. The blade has to be teeth down that way like this. I put this piece of plywood here because I want to make sure the teeth go all the way down to the table. And my table surface is not very flat because I have a lot of epoxy and glue and residue on it. So it's going to have to go like this. The first thing I'll do is mark where the screw will go on this side. Can you see? Yes. So I'll be using an owl to poke a hole so I know exactly where to make the hole. So I'll just kind of eyeball it right now. And make a hole. So I marked where it needs to go, and now I'm gonna go to the drill press and put a tiny hole in there. So I have a tiny hole in there, and I wanna make sure this blade is super tight. We don't want to lose a wobbly blade in there. So I'm going to put a screw in. I'm not going to put it all the way in, just to hold the blade in place. All right, and now I'm going to keep the blade straight, and with the same owl, I'll make a hole where it needs to go on this side, but I'll put it, let me show you. So when I make the mark where I need to put the owl, the hole, the screw, I'm going to put it on the very edge of the hole. That way when I drive in the screw, it's going to pull the blade and make it taut. No loose, sloppy blade. Great. Now I'm going to go to the drill press and drill that hole. We pre-drilled the holes and now it's time to apply the finish. Since I have the pattern as a gift from Derek, I decided to use his board butter. This is the Smiley Woodworks board butter and he sells this on his Etsy shop. As you can see, I'm almost done with it. I've been using it, and because it's such a small thing, I'm just going to put some on my hand and just rub it all over. And this is all organic, food safe. You make some good stuff. So this is going to make it super, super easy. Maybe I need just a tiny little bit more over here. And now I'm going to let this soak for 15 minutes, wipe off the excess, then we will install the blade, and then we'll go to the kitchen because I just baked some sourdough bread this morning, and we'll see if the knife actually works. It's been about 15 minutes. I just wiped off all the excess. As you can see, the board butter did an excellent job. And now it's time to put in our blade. Very careful. You do not want to get caught. Like I said, these blades are stainless steel and they are really, really, really sharp. Perfect for crusty breads, perfect for tomatoes. Sounds good. Feels good. Let's go test it out.